friends. Hello. Today we're going to have our last live in 2024. We're going to discuss 2024 changes in immigration and what we may possibly see in 2025. So please join me. In the end, I'm going to be answering your guys' questions live. Thank you very much, Valpreet. I hope everybody had some time off for the holidays. If not, well, welcome. You can join me. I also didn't have time off. I never am off. But today we will discuss the recent immigration news, what happened in 2024, and what potentially may happen in 2025 based on releases that we have in the media. Nothing is made up here. So thank you very much for joining me. My name is Alina Shevtsova. I'm an immigration attorney from New York. I've been practicing immigration law for 16 years now in the United States. And here I'm sharing my thoughts, tips, immigration news, and I'm answering your guys' questions live. So this is our last live in 2024. I do host these lives at least once a week, sometimes more, depending on my schedule. By the way, don't forget to let me know where you're watching from, and of course, like and share these streams. And if you're watching me on TikTok, hello. Don't forget, guys, to send your hearts, a little bit extra hearts for this very stressful 2024. And we will definitely need more hearts in 2025. You know that, of course. So I do have these live programs regularly. I answer your questions regularly live. And of course, if you need a private consultation with me, you know how to reach me. Very easy. It's 917-885-2261, or you can book appointment on my website, shevtsova.com. And that's how we have confidential personal consultations done. And today we're going to start with actually positive news. We're going to go through recent news first, and then we're going to go through 2024 changes and potential changes in 2025. So let's see. It seems that Trump and his people, Elon Musk and other people who are around him, are going to be focusing on something that is actually positive, may bring positive change for the immigration, H1B visas, guys. They've been talking about it for a while now. For the past week, various news published with regard to this particular program for immigration. And it seems that they will do something. At least that's what they're discussing, and that's what they're agreeing upon between Trump and Elon Musk and everybody else who's hiring foreign workers. They are in agreement that H1B program needs improvements. But what kind of improvements? What are they discussing? Because that's probably will be one of the first things that they will try to change. Why? Because they depend on those foreign workers, and it's important for them. And of course, some of us will benefit from it as well, if it's going to be a positive change. What they're specifically discussing is to change H1B program that was recently, by the way, changed as well, and make it more merit-based, when the best qualifying people, opposed to lottery, will receive H1B visas. Now, I'm going to tell you that it will be hard to implement this best criteria. Who is the best? Somebody who is picked by the richest company? Somebody who has the strongest resume? What about the rest of the people who may want to start working in the United States right after college and their resume is not that impressive? So I'm not really sure who the best is going to be. Overall, yes, it's a good thought to have, but in the past, there were so many abuses of H1B program. So the system that we have now, it wasn't crafted to necessarily be attracting the best. It was crafted to be the fairest, okay, to the best of USCIS abilities. And even now, after they implemented the lottery and they restructured the way the lottery is done, even now, still, there is immigration fraud in connection with H1B. When people sometimes sponsor someone saying that they will be working in specialty occupation, but they're not, they're just a domestic worker. When multiple employers are filing for the same person and taking up the slots for the same person that's supposed to be evenly distributed, and so on and so forth. So even though it's not per se illegal, but it's sort of unfair, right? So that's what's happening with H1B program. What I see the biggest issue with H1B program is a time limitation, the 6-year time period that the maximum you can be if you're H1B subject to cap, the 3-year initial approval, very short time period, I would say. And of course, the fact that whenever there is a material change, what USCIS is considered to be material change, you have to file a new petition, which is completely unnecessary. But we'll see what's going to happen. I overall think is a positive thing going on when somebody's trying to improve the program. I'm just not sure how exactly they're going to improve it. Okay, because it's not so easily done. Maybe it's time for a new, completely new work visa, right? For people who really want to work in the United States, make money, pay taxes, and have a legal work permit, and not necessarily tie it up to specialty occupation or bachelor's degree or master's degree, but rather to tie it up to an employer who is willing to hire a temporary employee in any occupation. Right now, we don't have that. We have permanent visa, we have H1B for somebody who's in specialty occupation. But if you would like to hire a domestic worker, a person for your farm, you are boxed into this very strict requirements, which are not working for the most people. It's just not happening. But we'll see. So that's a positive situation going on right now, right? Now, so based on that and on other disclaimers that we received in the news, I believe that 2025 is going to bring us positive changes for H1B visa program, green cards for students, just because Trump did mention that he would be friendly to issue permanent visas or green cards to people who graduate from the United States colleges and universities. So we're going to try to hold him accountable for his election promises, right? And DACA. He did say that he's supporting DACA, people receiving permanent residency. It's going to be very easy to implement that if he truly wants to, and his people truly want to do that. But with that, we know that some negative is going to come in 2025 as well. And that's going to be mass deportations. That's 400% is going to be happening. How massive they will be, we're going to see. Of course, they're going to start with people who have criminal records. Then will be people who are in detention, people who have already removal orders. Trump is going to try to change birthright citizenship. He mentioned that several times, and it's coming. I don't believe he will be successful, but he will try. And of course, asylum and discretion overall are going to suffer the most, okay? Asylum regulations have been changed already. Most of the people are going to be cut off from seeking asylum at the border, the way it's done now, all right? That's what's going to happen. These regulations are already in place. They're going to take effect, I believe, in January or February. And on my website, shoutsober.com, I wrote a blog about this. This particular change is going to be relevant for new coming immigrants. For those of you guys who are in the United States, you need to worry about discretion. Discretion is an ability to grant from A to Z, to give you relief from A to Z, focusing more like on Z than on A. That's a discretion. From multiple choice to choose something that is less desirable perhaps for you and more desirable for the government, all right? That's what's going to suffer. I'm telling you that's coming, all right? What did we see in 2024 in terms of immigration? I'm going to tell you that we didn't see drastic positive changes with the Biden administration. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. We did see less or almost none interviews for marriage-based cases, and I think in 2025 it will be reversed. We did see speedy approvals of marriage-based cases for 5 months, for the entire green card to be approved. Great. That will be reversed, I think. Of course, the rule about work permits being automatically extended, certain work permits, for 540 days when you file to renew the work permit. We did see that. Extended automatic extensions for green cards when you file for citizenship or when you file I-751 petition to remove conditions. We did see that. It's not necessarily a positive thing, though, because why does it give you this very long automatic extensions? It's because it takes them longer and longer to grant the actual thing, right? We did see expansion of premium processing in connection with employment-based categories, which is great. I wish they would have premium processing in family categories. Maybe Trump administration is going to look into it because it's one of the ways they can make more money, right? Instead of waiting for 8 months or 11 months, if you pay some money, you can get your case granted in 15 days. Wouldn't you want that, right? We did see announcements about VAWA applicants now being called for interviews more often. Not necessarily a positive thing, but that's what happened during the Biden administration. And the worst thing that happened in 2024 was a fiasco with Parole in Place program that was announced with such grandeur, how to pronounce that word, right? We all hoped for the best and nothing much good happened. It was mismanaged. The timing of it was wrong. Everything just could go wrong, went wrong with Parole in Place. And now all you're left with would be cancellation of removal for some people and I-601A waiver, guys. I-601A waiver. So if you were choosing in between filing for Parole in Place or pursuing I-601A waiver, I always recommended to pursue both, and I was right, just because Parole in Place didn't work out, but you have the safety net of I-601A waiver, even though it's taking very long time to be granted. It's still a possibility for somebody who entered without inspection and has been married to a US citizen or a green card holder to fix their status. So that's the most important changes, I think, that we saw in 2024. And what we're going to see in 2025, of course, we do not know. But as I mentioned those in the previous slides, I believe we will have some significant changes, slow processing times, for sure. In terms of whether or not the immigration is going to cost us more money, I just don't think so. The fees were raised fairly recently, just this April. So I don't think in 2025 they will be going up again. But hey, you never know. It depends on how all those people will be, actively involved with immigration. If they will set their mind on really making it harder, then I guess it potentially may become more expensive. Point is, now is still time to file. You're better off still filing now than waiting what's going to happen in the next 6 years, because some people tell me, oh, I don't want to file now. I will wait until Trump is out of the office. Well, I do not know what's going to come after Trump. It may be another Republican person. It's not necessarily that it's going to be easier after him to receive anything. Just keep that in mind. Now, guys, if you have questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Let me see. We have a lot of people on TikTok asking questions. Hi, guys. Hi, Picasso. In 2024, I spent 5 months in my country outside the United States. In 2025, can I spend 5 more months? I do not know what status you have. If you guys have a green card and you spend that much time out of the United States, I would recommend that you apply for re-entry permit, okay? That's what you need to do, re-entry permit. Should we include patronymic name when filing for USCIS? It's up to you, honestly. I do include that usually when I fill out immigration forms. If it's on your birth certificate, I would say you should include it. All right. You can also include it when it says other names used instead of, let's say you want to shorten your name. right? You don't want green card to be taken by four lines with your last name. So just put it in other names used, right? Because if your birth certificate does mention that name, it's kind of going to be funny if you just completely omit it and not mention it at all. Hi, Bravo. Where am I located? Well, our offices are in New York. All right. Our offices are in New York. You have an Eastern European accent. Yes, I do. I do have an Eastern European accent, and I'm not going to do anything about it. So if you don't like my accent, just don't watch me. Will the Trump administration will affect the citizenship timeline? Absolutely. Trump administration, people who he's choosing are not in favor of granting a lot of naturalization applications. In fact, they're in favor of taking away the naturalizations that they already provided to some of you. So, will it be harder? Absolutely. Will it be slower? Absolutely. Why? Because they will be focusing on very in-depth vetting and vetting how you receive that green card. Based on what? Now, you're filing for that N400. We know that. That's coming. That's why it's so important when you are submitting your green card application to work with an attorney. Sometimes USCIS makes a mistake and they grant that green card to you in error. Well, before you file for citizenship, most of the times you actually have an opportunity to correct that mistake. There is a way to do that. But after that, they will not allow you to correct it most of the times. They will choose placing you in removal proceedings instead. So just keep that in mind, okay? If you need a waiver, you have to file for the waiver. If you received your green card and you thought that you were lucky when you didn't qualify for the green card, you received it. For example, guys, a very common situation. You were receiving immigrant visa as an unmarried son or daughter. But in fact, before the visa was stamped on your passport, you were already married. Happens all the time. Or after the visa is stamped on your passport and before you entered the United States using that visa, you're married. Guess what? You are receiving that green card in error if this is the case. And when you go for that citizenship, they're not going to say, oh, you were lucky we didn't see that you didn't qualify for the visa when we issued it to you and for the green card. That's not what's going to happen. They're going to say that you were not entitled at that time to a green card, and now you're not going to become a citizen ever unless you find a way to fix it. All right. Marriage-based cases, will they be affected? Yes, but not so much as other cases. I applied for green card and submitted all relevant forms. I-765 rejected. Do I need to submit only I-765? Yes. Why I-765 was rejected? Was it lack of a proper fee, or was it signature, or was it a wrong category? So make sure you correct your mistake before you're submitting it, okay? But you're lucky that they rejected only one form. Usually they bounce the whole package back. All right. What about citizenship timeline? Yep, discussed that. We discussed that. Applied for asylum after I came from Mexico, been married to a US citizen for 10 years, cannot return. Guys, if you entered the United States without inspection, marriage to a US citizen is not going to help you in most cases to receive green card. You can look into I-601A route, okay? But that would require you usually to apply for a visa and travel back to your home country to receive that visa. You cannot go back to your home country since you filed for asylum. It means that you will need to ask NVC to designate a different country for your visa processing. It's possible, but kind of hard. All right. But it's possible. It's possible. Now let me see if you have questions from YouTubers. Hi. Anastasio, can I fly safely domestically using my ID if my case is administratively closed and asylum pending? Also, I just hired a new lawyer to apply for a U visa. Thank you. All right, so can you fly domestically? You don't really have a status, you have something pending. Once Real ID kicks in, you will have to have a Real ID to fly domestically. How are you going to receive one? Well, if you're going to have a work permit, you should be able to get that Real ID card, okay? But you're not 100% ever safe. I want you to understand that. If you don't have status, lawful non-immigrant status, a green card, or citizenship, and you do encounter CBP, they have a right to place you in removal proceedings. Now, if you have something pending, then you may be able to get out of that removal proceedings. You're mentioning that your case is actually administratively closed, so you are already in removal proceedings. If somebody mean meets you and they feel like you should be deported for a crime, for example, they may reopen those proceedings and start actively trying to deport you. You have a U visa pending, so you're going to say, wait, let me go through my U visa and let me see if I will get the status based on that. During the Trump 1-0, how they call it, time, the court would not wait for you just because you have something pending. Biden administration did wait for you. What's going to happen now, I do not know, right? But technically speaking, if you don't have immediate relief, the judge may deport you, order you to be deported. Okay, you have to understand that. And you're never 100% safe if you don't have those three things, okay? Thank you very much, Abdikader, for your nice words. Let's see. All right, do we have more questions? Guys, immigration lawyers do not invite anybody to come to the United States. We also don't bring people over through the border. I have a lot of comments about that from people who don't understand how the United States immigration laws work. We don't invite anybody, we don't bring anybody, we only help people who are trying to either get a visa, come legally, or they're in the United States already and they're trying to fix their status using the United States laws. We don't make them up either. All right. Hi, Morgan. My wife got 2 different work permits, separate applications. Now we are filing a different petition. Can she request a work permit renewal? Well, sure. You can request a work permit renewal if you are basing the renewal. It means that you're extending the existing work permit based on existingly pending case. If you're filing a new case, it's not going to be a renewal, right? Can you renew the previous ones? Well, perhaps, if they're still pending. That's how it works. All right, let me see. All right, if you guys need my help and you need a confidential consultation, it's very easy to book it. You just call 917-885-2261, or you do it on our website, shaltsova.com. Hi, Ahmed. If an appeal was dismissed by the Board of Immigration Appeals, can I apply for cancellation of deportation? If appeal was dismissed, it means probably you lost your case, okay? And can you apply for cancellation of removal? If you have a removal order against you, usually not, unless you can reopen your case. You need to be able to reopen your case and qualify for cancellation of removal, which is harder and harder to do as we speak. Hi, user 863. What will happen to my wife and her children after I cancel my affidavit of support, no green cards? If you cancel your affidavit of support, usually an immigrant that you're sponsoring will not be able to get a green card if the application hasn't been filed yet, unless this person is going to file for VAWA, okay? Violence Against Women Act. but otherwise they will not be able to fix their status, because we do have a rule about public charge that most immigrants who are filing for green cards do need to have a financial sponsor. Most immigrants in family-based categories, right? Those who file based on employment usually do not, unless very specific exceptions apply. High study after filing after I-130 approval, what is the next step? I have a whole video about that. If you file I-130 for your family member and that family member is overseas, you will have to wait for the priority date to become current. If this is your issue, it may not be. And then you have to work with a national visa center. What if my United States citizen spouse is in jail? Can I go for an interview alone? Sentence for 2 years DUI. USCIS officer is going to decide what is going to happen. They have a discretion to waive that person's presence. Yes. Hi, Fatima. How much is my consultation? You can call my office and I'm going to give you all the options, because I do have various options. Depending on the time, in person, online, we have different prices. Hi, Sarita. What is this? Some reasons embassies might expedite interview schedules besides medical reasons? Well, they call it humanitarian reasons, public interests. So it depends. Thank you very much, Impress, for the gift. It depends on what's happening, who is filing for you, and what that entity or a person is going through, right? If it's an employment visa and they need you as an employee, and some kind of a project depends on your participation, and if you're not able to enter the United States, they're going to suffer hardships, then sure, it's probably possible to expedite something. For family cases, it's usually medical reasons, but not necessarily. Again, there are some unique situations that you will have to explain to the consulate about, and hopefully they will, in a matter of discretion, grant your case. Hi, Oko, my father married an American citizen. Will I get green card if he gets it? I'm over 21 years old. All right, so no, if you're over 21 years old, you're automatically not going to get any green card if your father gets it. Unless your father married a US citizen and you were under 18 years old, that US citizen filed for you before you turned 21 and the case is still pending. So you're considered an immediate relative and you're not married, okay? And again, a separate petition should have been filed for you. So there is no dependent category for spouses of US citizens, all right? That just doesn't exist, unfortunately. But depending on when that person got married with your father, you may be sponsored by that person, or wait for your father to receive a green card first and then sponsor you. But if the father is a green card holder, they can sponsor you only if you're not married. If you are married, they will be able to sponsor or file for you only when they become US citizens. Again, I have tons of videos about that, tons of blogs on my website about that. Please, guys, visit my YouTube channel, look through the library. We have tons of materials. You will save some money. But if you do need a personal consultation, call us. We'll be happy to help. Now, guys, this is our last live this year. Thank you very much all for supporting my social media, supporting my channel, participating, asking questions. Please continue doing so. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the streams. I wish you all in the new year to be healthy, happy, as much as you can. Get what you want, right? To realize your wishes and your dreams. And we're going to see each other next year. And I hope to see you soon.